The following is a presentation of TFNN. Good morning, Market Kickoff, with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Monday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN just after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We got about 24 minutes to go until the opening bell, and you got markets shopping around a bit. We got the S&Ps right now, negative by 2 points. You see the acceleration on Friday on that jobs number, up to 61.11. You chop around. We're just off that number right now, trading negative by 3 points at 6,096. NASDAQ 100, we trade to 21,706 overnight, about 4 a.m. Eastern Time. You drop a little bit lower, and we're negative by 38 points right now. You got NVIDIA. They're a little bit lower this morning, putting a little bit of a damper on the NASDAQ 100. Maybe these markets, we'll see how we open as China. Talking about maybe they might be monopolistic. We'll get into that. You get the Dow in positive territory. Dow Jones up by 48 points, or 0.1%, 44,754. And how about the Russell leading the way, up by 0.5%. Russell pushing the highs of Friday at 42.24. Bitcoin, a little bit of a reprieve, 105,000 last week. Overnight, on Friday, we're at 102. You open on Sunday night, we're at 102 as well, and then we're trading right now 99,900, we'll call it. Crude, a little bit of a bid from the lows of Friday. How about a 66 handle on Friday? 66.98. We're trading up $1 at 68.26 right now. Gold is catching a bid. We were up to 26.89. We're at 26.86 right now. You jump over to yields. What do we got going on in yields? Well, what do we got going right now? I think we're at 4.17. Let's see where we're at. 4.18. 4.18, the yield on the 10-year. You take a look at the daily. You've seen higher price and lower yield. This morning, we're negative by 5 ticks, but we are sitting at 4.18%, the yield on the 10-year, and the dollar's got a little bit of weakness right now, sitting with a 105 handle. We put it back to a 5-minute chart. You see the acceleration on Friday's jobs number, the initial reaction, down to 105.42. By the end of the day, we're at 106, and we're just under that level right now at 105.94 on the dollar. So what do you got? You got a little bit of dollar weakness from where we were at the end of Friday's session. That is, with yield sitting at 4.18%. And with that, with dollar weakness, you're getting a little bit of gold strength, pushing 26.88. Friday, we were at 26.35, right? Yeah, that's Thursday night. Is that Thursday night? Let's zoom it in. Yeah, that was Thursday evening. We were at 26.35 on the jobs number. We were as low as 26.46 on gold, and we're trading right now at 26.88 in the price of gold. Now, for economic data, we get CPI this Wednesday, 2 days from right now. We get PPI, producer price indexes, on Thursday. The Fed will be watching those two. Housing, always an important component of CPI. Very heavily weighted in the CPI. Now, the Fed prefers the PCE, but nonetheless, we'll be watching inflation numbers. The Fed will be watching them. And then 7 days after that, we get a Federal Reserve meeting. That is December 19th. So we get CPI this Wednesday. We get the Federal Reserve next Wednesday. And then we come into 2 holiday weeks of trading. Now, we get Christmas is on a Wednesday this year. New Year's is on a Wednesday. Those weeks, right? 2 holiday weeks. Going to be light. A lot of people going to be on break, especially when it falls on a Wednesday. It just breaks up those weeks dramatically. Now, when we talk about what the Fed's going to do, the odds just keep going up. We've been following this, right? At first, it was almost 50-50. Then it was a 3-to-1 chance that they're going to cut. Now it's a 9-to-1 chance, folks, that they're going to cut. Okay? Maybe you call it an 8-to-1. Yeah. An 8-to-1 probability that the Fed's going to be cutting by 25 basis points. That's where the market's pricing things. Now, this could change on Wednesday, but it would take a shocker. After getting through that jobs number, the numbers there, the wages, the jobs added on Friday, it would take quite a surprise for a CPI number to upend all of that. One of the things that they're going to be looking at in that CPI is housing, as I mentioned. Let me just pull it up. Why not? Because it is cool when you look at the difference between some of these factors that go into the CPI and the PCE. It's nothing like experience, folks, and living through COVID, okay, and inflation. There's the chart I wanted to take a look at. We get CPI on Wednesday. The Fed prefers the PCE. Do you see the yellow on the CPI? That's housing. 32% of the CPI is housing. The reason why the Fed, excuse me, prefers the PCE is they think it represents more of the cost that you, as the consumer, consume, let alone what you're just paying for. All right, and I've gone over this before, but boy, it's interesting to take a look at, okay? CPI, look at the red. Healthcare, only 9. In PCE, it's 21%. And the reason why is because you don't pay for a lot of your own healthcare. I say you. A majority of Americans don't pay for their own healthcare because they're in employer-sponsored plans. Do they consume that healthcare? Yes. Does the cost of that healthcare factor into inflation? You better believe it does. But do they actually consume it as part of the consumer price index? No, they don't, because they're not the ones that pay for it. But guess what? That's why the Fed prefers the PCE, because it's more representative of what you're consuming, whether you're paying for it or a third party's paying for it. So PCE drops housing down to 15 and jacks healthcare up to 21%. Point being, CPI, housing's going to be a big number. Owner equivalent rent, probably going to be a big number. Don't get too distracted by it when you see the huge differences that they have, right? Food, it's comparable because most people are paying for their own food, right? Maybe you get a free lunch at work or something like that, but it is interesting how you understand that, right? Financial, PCE. Financial is in blue here. A much bigger component of the PCE. Okay? Yeah. And I wonder the logic there. I'm guessing that it's probably because, you think of the likes of a free checking account, right? You're not paying anything. You better believe the bank is making money and you're paying for it somewhere. Some of that stuff. But nonetheless, so we get CPI on Wednesday. Look for that number. Housing's going to be a big one, man. It keeps being a big one. And we'll see where we go. But when you look at the Fed, you're talking about they're going to be cutting 25 basis points unless we get a surprise come December 18th. And then, as I like to do, so let's just factor in that we get that cut. Let's just assume, right? We get the cut to 4.25%. Where do we go 4 meetings from then to June? Well, in June, maybe we get 1 to 2 more cuts is what the market's looking for right now. How about September? 2 cuts is the number. Folks, they're going out 6 meetings after December, and the market's pricing 1, 2, or 3 cuts through 6 meetings. So things are going to get a lot more interesting after this meeting, right? This meeting, it's not too hard for the Fed to make the case that they can go down to 4.25%. The overnight lending rate can be 4.25%, and they're not going to be accommodative to allow this economy to run too hot, because 4.25% is still quite a lofty overnight lending rate. But what happens when they get down to a 3.75 and a 3.5, right? What if the natural rate of this economy is on fire and it's pushing a 3 to 3.5? They got to worry about inflation. It's still there, folks. And you better believe it. All right, we jump over to NVIDIA shares. We'll talk about this after the first break here. You got NVIDIA. There's a little bit of a trade lower. So Friday, we're at 145. Today, we're at 139. 25 billion shares in this equity. And yeah, you're down about $3. We'll talk about it as China looking into their monopolistic behavior potentially. NVIDIA down by $3. NASDAQ 100 off by 43. It's Monday trading. We'll be right back, folks. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. We get the S&Ps negative by 2 points right now. NASDAQ 100 off by 34. And yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. You jump over to NVIDIA shares. So, small reaction in the pre-market. It is interesting that we've just been shopping around, pushing these highs. We made that high back in June. You're talking about 6 months. Okay, now that was quite a rocket ship consolidation from what? We got to even back it up further than that, where the run began. Yeah, it was like a straight shot. From October 2022 at $10. Maybe you can make the case that you ran from 50 to 150 this year. All right, we're chopping around a bit, but we are right at, and we're going to open today under the June highs. And look at the volume. All right, just look at the volume on this chart, folks, from where we were in the run-up. All right, I'm not even going to cherry pick numbers. Look at the volume we were doing March 4th. 3.5 billion shares on a weekly basis. We just did under 1 billion shares on then. That's Thanksgiving. That's not fair. No, we did the same thing last week. Yeah, that's last week's bar. We did 928 million. All right. I'm just choosing some of those big volume bars when you were accelerating in March. Then you had the run up where we were in June, 2.5 billion. Even at the high, we had trail off a bit, 1.7 billion, 1.4 billion. Look at the trail off we've had since September. Right? All of these weeks, 1.2 million, 1.3, billion, 900 million, 1 billion. Small volume at the top here compared to some of the volume numbers that you had when this thing was jumping around, especially as you were accelerating higher. You got NVIDIA going to be under the highs of June. You could have bought in June and you are in a negative position on NVIDIA this morning, trading at 139.20. And as I mentioned, not a huge reaction. We got the slide on Friday this morning. We're down from about 142 at 4 in the morning on that number. And you get over to the headline, and there it is. China targets NVIDIA for potential breach of monopoly law. And this has to do with a 2020 deal. All right. Mellanox. The acquisition of Mellanox. Beijing gave approval for the deal 4 years ago on conditions that NVIDIA not discriminate against Chinese firms. Interesting, right? They approved that acquisition for $7 billion that included that Mellanox provide information about new products to rivals within 90 days of making them available to NVIDIA. Interesting, right? The nuances here with China. NVIDIA also agreed that Chinese chip makers will get a chance to make sure their products work well with the Mellanox technology out there. The race is on, folks, and it's not surprising, right? NVIDIA is going to have one set of chips for the U.S., one set of chips for China. China's not going to be happy with that, right? The battle is on. They don't want second-class chips. That's not how it works. And that is the way it's going to go down, folks. It is. And so you'll see how it comes when the market opens in about 8 minutes. But I would not be surprised by a huge reaction here. Okay? Now, the people who are paying NVIDIA are the foundry companies, right? You're talking about Amazon. You're talking about Microsoft. You're talking about every big tech company out there. Apple, Tesla, you name them, right? But China, yeah, they're a big player out there too. That's why they want to have those two sets of chips. And this is probably the first big strike to make sure that China, laying down the law, trying to make sure that they're going to get the chips that they want, and they're going to hold NVIDIA accountable, and we'll see if the share price is what they do on the open. But nonetheless, we're only down. I expected a bigger move on this number, to be honest, this morning. And we're pushing the pre-market lows at about 139 right now, and we'll see where we go from there on the open in about 7.5 minutes. All right, we jump around to some of the other equities that are moving this morning. Palantir, this thing is a rocket ship, man. Yeah. So they expanded their contract with U.S. Special Operations Command to develop AI mission management. That contract only valued at about $37 million, but this thing just doesn't stop, right? Look at this thing. Almost 6 months ago, you're at 21. You're going to be pushing at 80 right now on Palantir, trading higher. You jump over to AMD shares this morning. They're a little bit lower. I think they got a downgrade, right? What did they get? Yeah, a little bit of a lower. Now, that's probably the China news out there as well, right? Hitting all the chip stocks. But Bank of America downgrades them. Potential market share loss as big tech hyperscalers signal their preference for NVIDIA and other semiconductor makers. AMD just not keeping up, man. You jump over to Macy's with some action this morning. Macy's, yeah, you got an activist investor, Barrington Capital, calling on them to change its capital allocation plan and create a real estate unit to maximize the value of its owned assets, right? They want Macy's to reevaluate alternatives for its Bloomingdale's and Blue Mercury options. Not familiar with Blue Mercury, definitely familiar with Bloomingdale's. Yeah. Nonetheless, Macy's a little bit of a bid, but check out this chart. Let's back it up even further. Yeah. Maybe they got to get lean and mean, right? Maybe they got to sell off a bunch of that in terms of whether you're talking about really organizing the real estate they have, potentially selling off brands that they're not making the most of, like Bloomingdale's, etc. Nonetheless, Macy's, they're going to catch a bid by about 50 cents this morning. We jump around to some of the other Magnificent Seven. You got Apple shares slightly in the red. NASDAQ 100 is slightly in the red as well. NVIDIA is going to open in the red. Microsoft shares, they're going to be down about $1.50 at $4.42 this morning. You jump over to Amazon. It's been quite a run for them. They're up to $231 in the pre-market. Yeah, look at this run. Amazon is up 50% from where you were in August, folks. You hear that? Amazon is up 50% from where you were in August. This isn't Bitcoin, okay? I mean, you like Bitcoin. You're up, I guess, if I cherry pick that August low, which is what I was doing, you're up 100% in Bitcoin, all right, from that August 5th low, which is what I was cherry picking. And that was the unwind trade going on with the yen, right? There's your acceleration. We all remember that if you were in the market. Sunday night, futures were down limit 5 to 7%. You had Amazon down at 150. Boom, you're at 227. Amazon going to open down about $1 this morning to 226.54. You jump over to Tesla shares. Whew. 402 in the pre-market. You're trading at 397 right now. Quite a run for Tesla as it keeps up. Meta shares, 624 from 623.77. They're actually slightly in the positive. This thing, you talk about it, man. One-way trip from $88 to $623. You see the weekly. That was quite a weekly, and we had some volume last week as well. Accelerating on 67 million shares for Facebook shares. Meta shares up at 624. All right, folks, we got the S&P trying to get green as we come into the opening bell. We got the S&Ps negative by 1. NASDAQ 100 slightly in the red. Dow positive by 58. And the Russell leading the way. We got gold higher. We're coming back, folks, for the opening bell. Don't go away.
The consistency you're looking for is closer than you think. 1 or 2 adjustments are usually all you need to change your equity curve from red to green and keep it there. Come join Larry Pesavento live to learn what separates the winners from the losers. Join Larry Pesavento on the 2nd and 4th Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, where Larry will show you the market setting up and, most important of all, the state of mind of a winning trader. By watching Larry trade, you'll learn the Fibonacci levels, you'll learn how to apply A to B to C to D trading patterns, you'll learn trade management, pattern recognition, and much more. Join Larry October 11th and 25th for more live trading action. Your purchase goes towards 2 sessions, so make sure to sign up now so you don't miss a chance to sit next to Larry as he trades the market live. For all information and to reserve your spot today, go to the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstad's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
welcome back, folks. We got markets open. S&P negative by 5. NASDAQ 100 off by 52 right now. You dip a little bit lower on the opening bell, and we jump over to NVIDIA shares, see how we react. And yeah, let's be careful on NVIDIA today, man. You are priced for perfection, and it's not perfection, all right, but it's pretty close, folks, when you talk about an equity. It right now has a market cap of $3.37 trillion with 25 billion shares outstanding. We're pushing the levels that we've been at since June 20th of this year, and you're down about 3.4%. NASDAQ 100 down about 70, and the Russell, though, leading the way, up by 0.7% so far this morning. And how about the geopolitical news out there from Syria? Did not expect this one, man. It's remarkable how time flies when you think about that. It seemed like a surety that Assad was going to be out 13 years ago when everything was going on in the Middle East. And nope, he's out now, though. He ran from the rebels, and yeah, his family's regime, 50 years in there, and that is over. So he was talking to Russia, Iran, and his own military in the last hours, and they just weren't getting it done, man. Interesting to see if this plays into Russia at all. Geopolitical tensions, right? That's one of those things. You look at this market. This market is priced almost for perfection, and we got a lot of volatility out there. You know, you look at whether you're talking about the Middle East and Israel, you're talking about now Syria falling to rebels. Putin was an ally there. And yeah, it says 11 days, what appeared impossible after 13 years is what they were dealing with since 2011 was the number there. Where do they put it? Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so it was 2011, right? When you had the uprisings in the Middle East going on, he clamped down on that, and that created an uproar, and it took 13 years for it to happen. You had Russia and Iran helped claw back 2/3 of the country's territory following more than a decade of civil war. Yeah, and that's what they talk about. Russia got involved with Ukraine, and that's a problem when they were their biggest backer. Yeah, and they go over. This is a cool one. I'll post this one in the den. I was looking at this earlier in terms of, so if you can see this right now, right? Look at the rebels and where they are. They take over everything in 11 days. And yeah, who knows what kind of resistance or what was going on there. But nonetheless, Assad is out. Not sure that they know where he is just yet. And yeah, I don't think they thought that they would have taken Aleppo in 4 days. That's a senior fellow at the Washington Institute of Near East Policy and an author on the topic. After the fall of Aleppo, Assad tried to muster support for his sagging military forces, appealing to Russia and Iran. But it just wasn't getting done. Too little, too late. Assad is out. Yeah. And we're going to see how that plays out. Because you had an ally in Russia, which always complicates things for sure. And yeah, I saw that news. I said, man, he survived Assad. All of that pressure for him to step down, right? It looked like he was out 11 years ago. He makes 11 years, and finally I think he saw the writing on the wall, and he is out. All right. Yeah, we talked about NVIDIA. We talked about Syria. We got markets slightly in the red to kick things off. NVIDIA down about $4.50 right now. We jump over to AMD shares one more time. AMD. Yeah, they're down by 4.2%, trading at 132.87 this morning. We check in on Amazon. Look at Amazon, man. Something's going on with Amazon. And listen, I'm an Amazon bull. I got Amazon shares in retirement, folks. Something is going on with Amazon. This thing is on a rocket ship. You're up 15% from where we were trading November 22nd. 15%. Yeah. You talk about a rocket ship, man. Even when this market's down, Amazon to the moon, up to 229. Oh, look at this monthly chart. Stratospheric. And if you're ever getting, I was looking at this earlier, okay? So check this out. We'll go back to a weekly. You accelerate from the lows of 2023 at $80. You make a high at 200. You pull back to a perfect 382 of this retracement to about 154. We actually make a low of 151.61 to be exact. Now, if you're talking about what's a 1-to-1, A to B, C to D, Folks, that would push Amazon to 273. Now, I'm not sure that's going to happen, all right? But you are ahead of the B point, and you've got some volume here. So remember, 273, okay? This is how you like to break away from a B point. You see that break? You see that week we had last week? 205 million shares traded. That's a good number. Wide price expansion with volume. And yeah, we're continuing that run today. Up another 0.7%. You jump over to Microsoft shares. Slightly in the red for Microsoft. We'll go back to a daily. You jump over to Meta, as I said, down about 0.3%. Google shares this morning down about 0.3% as well. Tesla, you talk about it, man. Up $13 to 3.6% to the positive at 402. I mean, Tesla's almost back to all-time highs. Look at that. All right, we check back in on yields this morning. Yeah, just chopping around at about 4.18%, the yield on the 10-year. But the more interesting action, I think, is in the dollar. You follow the dollar. Take a look at this weekly. We're at a critical area of 106. You accelerate higher. You pull back the week of November 25th, Thanksgiving, and we're just chopping right at 106. It's the highs from earlier this year, right near the highs of last year, right near the highs of March of 2023 as well. We're sitting at 105.931 right now on that dollar. And yeah, gold having a little bit of a moment right now. 26.91 for gold. Look at this acceleration we got going on, man. We were just hitting 26.94 right now as gold trading higher. You jump over to silver. Look at that run. Silver. What's going on here? All right, keep your eye on silver. Maybe silver's going to break. We got the highs back there in May, right where we're sitting at right now. But look at this expansion we got going on today on silver, man. That is a move on silver. This is a weekly chart, folks. But this weekly bar we have going on in silver, the week just started like an hour ago, right? Look at that weekly bar and look what's possible in terms of depending on how the week goes in silver. Watch out. Now, let's talk some others. How about copper? Copper, it's looking rough, man. Right? You have gotten a little bit of a bid over the last 4 weeks. All you've done, though, is you've come into this November 11th bar. This is copper futures we're looking at right now, okay? Now, what's interesting here is it's right in the gold report this week, okay, this weekend, which just came out this morning. If you want to check it out on the front page, TFNN, right under newsletters. Compared to other metals in this market, okay, boy, that is a series of lower lows and lower highs. Now, yeah, you didn't quite make a lower low back in November where you were. Maybe this is the bottoming. The reason why I bring it up is you jump over to Freeport-McMoRan and copper and gold, okay? And you're bumping up against an area of $45. We'll finish this conversation when we get back, folks. We'll take a look at Freeport-McMoRan. We'll take a look at that copper. We'll take a look at some other equities. We'll be right back, folks.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the Opening Call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. Market slightly in the red with the S&Ps negative by 7, NASDAQ 100 off by 37. You get the Dow barely in the positive right now by single digits, and the Russell holding on to those gains right now, up by about 0.6%. Bitcoin sitting right at 100,000 right now. And yeah, so we talk a little bit of gold, we talk a little bit of copper, we talk some equities. Gold having a day up by $35. Folks, great day to check out the gold report. Check it out right on the front page of TFNN. New issue out, $26.94, up by $35. Now, the dollar's not having dramatic movements. All right, we're at 105.93. Yield's not really having dramatic movements, but gold is having a move, man, on its own. Gold has been relentlessly positive, even in the face of a remarkably strong dollar, as we are pushing 2,700 right now. The only time we had all-time highs above this was for a short period in October. 2,700 right now coming into on that gold contract. Now, as I was talking about, we were talking about a little bit of copper, okay? There's your copper chart. Now, what's interesting is I pulled up FCX. Now, all these companies have a lot going on, right? There's Freeport Moran, Freeport McMoran, okay? They're up with gold this morning, but I wanted to show you one more that really caught my eye this weekend doing the gold report, okay? Southern Copper. Now, check this one out, man. I was looking at this one potentially in the gold report. We didn't pull the trigger, okay? But I had said, when we're talking about this, okay, that this could be talking about, let's just go back to copper for a second. All right, copper's up by 9 pennies, which is 2%. You see the move it's getting. Now, all commodities are getting a move today right now. All right, we talked about silver's having a move, man. Look at that move. Up by $1.17 now for silver. Okay, look at that day. And look at the critical area you're jumping over. I didn't add that line right now, folks. That line's been on that chart. $32 was a critical area for silver, and you are above it now at $32.77 right now for the silver contract. But when you jump to Southern Copper, look at this chart, man. You go back to the lows of 2022 at $42. You're talking about a well-defined channel to the upside. You were bumping up against that channel last week, and what do? We open and we pop higher by $6.50. Southern Copper up by $6.50, which is exactly a 6.5% pop, as you were at exactly $100. This thing closed Friday at exactly $100. Our man Basil Chapman. So keep your eye on that Southern Copper, because yes, they do more than just copper. Okay, they definitely do. Copper and other minerals. Peru, Mexico, Argentina, Ecuador, and Chile Mining, milling, flotation of copper ore to produce copper and molybdenum. Good luck on that one. Smelting copper concentrates to produce blister and anode copper. But nonetheless, right? I was looking at this one last night. I was going to keep my eye on it. And look at that pop, man. Up by 6.7% right on the open right now. You see the acceleration even on the open. Yeah, so what's it saying? As you move on copper, man. Keep your eye on those equities, because for the first time I was looking at it and I said, okay, hold on a second. Maybe these equities are getting ahead of the copper market. Maybe we're in for a little bit of a bid here, because there's a pop on Southern Copper. FCX up another 6% as well. And then you know what's interesting is, in the same way, I started looking at some of the silver stocks. In the same way, some of them, all right, and you see the reaction. Look at Pan American, man, up by 8.3%. We might be seeing a turn today, man. When I was looking at these equities yesterday, I was doing the gold report, right? Pan American, again, bumping up against the lower portion of this channel line. You can see where we came in on Friday. We were pulling back on light volume, and boom, you pop from 22 to 24. You're up by almost $2 for Pan American right now. What else do we have? Is it First Majestic? Yeah, look at First Majestic up by 9.5%. Now, First Majestic is a different deal, man. All right, I'd be careful on First Majestic. Small percentages on small numbers can be deceiving, as I always say. You're up by 10%, but this equity's got a problem when it reaches $8. Quite the difference. You look at AG, okay, and then look at Pan American, PAAS. Yeah, quite a different story. I'd rather be in PAAS right now. And these are the equities. These are the charts. These are the comparisons I go over in that gold report, folks. But look at that channel line, right? Going back to where we were at the beginning of the year when we started this run in February. And Pan American up another 8.7% so far this morning. Yeah, First Majestic. Look at that, up by 10%. But be careful. And you can see on a weekly basis, right? October 14th, boom, you accelerate higher, you give it all back within 3 weeks. So we're making another acceleration. We'll see if it can hold. Excuse me. Let's look at another silver stock, Endeavor, EXK. You're up by 9% right now. You're going to have some work to do to get above this $5 area for Endeavor. Right, we make that high in July. We gap above there in October. We pull back. We're up by 9% right now on Endeavor Silver. As yeah, those silver and copper stocks having a day, man. Remember, folks, this is a weekly bar we're looking at, and the week just began. Let's put things back on a daily. Look at that daily bar. That line was on this chart before today, folks. This is a big break for silver. Pay attention to the silver market, man. Look at that bar. It's only 9:45 in the morning. That bar could go from there. We're up 4% on silver right now. Silver's been struggling. And you talk about a day, and it is a critical area, as this has been an area that it's struggled to get above. Whether you talk about the highs of May, you talk about the highs of October before you accelerated at $35, and we're trading up by 4% right now. You jump over to the gold contract. Gold up by $35, but you see, nothing like the move in silver that's going on when you put this on a chart. Yeah, it's a good move. All right, and yeah, you're coming into this area. We had the September high, that high 27.08 in gold. We're trading at 26.95 right now. We'll see where we go from there. Look at this NASDAQ 100 clawing it back. Now, you want to see something interesting. How about this? We'll go a little bit of longer term, all right? Longer term, it is interesting. The NASDAQ 100, we were talking about this a while back, all right? You look at this chart. You have a nice A to B, C to D formation that completes at about 20,600. We're a solid 1,000 points already above that price level, folks. Okay? It was a 10,000 point A to B run. You pull back to the lows of 2022, and then you do 11,000 points from there. Now, that's a monthly chart, okay? Where it gets interesting is you put this on a daily, all right? 20,623 was the high for the A to B, C to D. It's just under this dotted line that we made that high. We made that high in July. It's been chopping around there. Now, what I will say is, look at these volume bars, okay? Nothing too dramatic. And we're coming into holidays, but things have been melting off a bit, right? You look at some of the volume bad. You had 693 million shares traded. We're just looking at NASDAQ futures, and you can pull up the ETFs as well. But you're talking about 693 million, some big days down. The November 15th pullback, 674 million. This melt-up's been on 400 million, 440, 456, 414, and 449. So be careful out here as we are melting higher on lighter volume. Yeah. And as I mentioned, this is a big week. We get the Fed next week. And then it's holiday trading, folks. You know, after the Fed's meeting next Wednesday, everyone's out of here. They're out of there for the holidays. But we got 2 weeks of trading. We got one more segment. We'll talk some other equities. We'll be right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. Market's just chopping around right where we've been the entire program, basically. S&P's right now, negative by 6 points. NASDAQ 100, slightly in the red by 20. You did have the Dow roll over there. We were in positive territory. Dow now negative by 8 points. Russell continuing to lead the way, up by 20 points or 0.8% in the positive when you're talking about that Russell trading at 24.31. Yeah. All right, we jump around to what else we got going on. Powell, he's going to stay. Seems like the battle is not on just yet. Trump going to choose his battles, and it's not going to be with Powell until his term is over. Trump says he won't try to remove Fed Chair Jerome Powell. He probably got told by somebody that even that is going to be difficult for him to do on day one of his new administration. But nonetheless, the Fed, we talked about a week from Wednesday, we get their meeting. Market thinking there's about a 90% probability that they're going to cut. But where do we go from there? Folks, these are the types of headlines that give the Fed pause, okay? And it should. Where is the economy going to go with some of these things when we're talking about here? Excuse me. We will find out. But nonetheless, we got about 5 weeks till he is in, man. January 20th is the day. It is December 9th. Before you know it, rhetoric is going to become reality, and the market can't wait to figure out what that means in terms of actual economic policies and political where we go from there. But nonetheless, you got the Russell trading higher. We got yields right now sitting at about 4.17%, and why not? Let's finish it off with gold, as gold is having a day, and it's keeping going. We might be at 2,700 by the time Mr. Basil Chapman is coming up next, folks. We got gold up by $37 right now. Look at that run. We just hit 26.98, and silver, even bigger than that, right? Look at the run in silver. Silver up by $1.22. Folks, thanks so much for kicking your Monday off right here at TFNN. Stay tuned. We got our man Basil Chapman. He's coming up next. We got our man Steve Rhodes, Fast Market, Larry Pesavento, Jacob Shoup this afternoon. Thanks so much, folks. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.